10:37 on this beautiful spring Friday. It'll warm up, don't worry. It's better than the hell we were dealing with in February. Hello, Ashley Kalus.
Good morning.
I'm very excited.
Me too.
I'm so thrilled. Like, you have no idea. I've enjoyed going back and forth with you on Twitter for the past several months. We become Twitter buddies.
Yeah.
Then we hung out at Seth Magaziner's Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
Which was fun.
That was
fun.
That was a great night.
Yeah.
And you know what? Everybody was personable. Nobody would, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. You had Hopkins there, you were there, Magaziner's there. Like, it was just a nice night to be out and relaxed.
Yeah, like normal people.
Like normal people that don't live in silos and live in this world where so yes, and now we've talked for a while about me doing radio with you, and now here we are, and I'm excited about this.
I know, this is exciting.
This will be a good day. So, first very important question.
Okay.
What happened to the bus? Where's the bus?
Oh, the
Kalus bus.
Oh, it got sold.
It got sold?
Yeah,
I don't
it's
blame you.
gone. Yeah, I really wasn't.
Did you sell it right away?
No, we waited a little bit.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have anywhere to park it. It's kind of a weird thing to keep.
Did you keep it in that long driveway of yours?
In Newport?
Yeah.
I have 2 long driveways.
The one where the delivery driver left your package.
Oh, no, that's my see, this is where I'm so relatable. No, that's wrong house. That's my Providence house. That's where I live. Yeah, can you believe that? I don't know what my husband did because that guy likes me.
Where in Providence do you have a driveway that long?
On the east side.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
I love that house. It's my dream house. It's brick. It looks exactly like the Home Alone house.
I'd love to live on the east side. You know what? Like, I've considered it.
I would love that. It's not like unattainable.
It's not unattainable. It's the paradise on a hill.
It is really the best.
You're in suburbia and in
the
feet
city
away
at the
from the
same
city.
time.
Yes.
And if you talk, we get really nerdy. If you talk about like zoning and done right, we have apartment buildings, we have single family homes, and everything is just sort of copacetic and beautiful. And you have stores. It is really like done well.
It's relaxed up there. It's just there's something like what I envision where I want to live with my home one day. So, but yeah, so you couldn't park it in the Newport house and you couldn't park it in the Providence house.
I mean, I could. It just would have taken up both driveways. I have my big thing in Newport is I have parking, which is like amazing in Newport.
Oh, so people are jealous of you.
I mean, I try to make them. Because my house is so small there. We had to move from it because I was an idiot and I moved into a 1,100 square foot house with like 3 teenage boys and wondered why that didn't work.
Yeah.
So, but at least I had parking.
At least you have parking. 3 teenage boys. Jeez. Good for you.
Yeah.
Are they close to 18 or are they just in that?
Not even close.
Not even close.
No,
okay.
I have a 16-year-old, a 13-year-old, and an 11-year-old. So
do you hate teenagers yet?
I actually prefer older children. I'm a better mom for older kids because I'm just more like I'm not into veterinary medicine, so like it just wasn't my thing.
Veterinary medicine?
That's kind of like raising little kids. Veterinary medicine.
See, it's going to take me a while to learn this stuff, but one day maybe. Awesome. All right. So we have Ashley Kalus in studio today. We'll do a little talk radio with Ashley. Have some fun. I enjoy how you go at people on Twitter. I just love. For me, that looks to stoke the fight and doesn't mind the fight, especially when I know I'm right in the fight. I admire you.
Thank you. I don't think I'm fighting. I feel like I'm just...
Fighting might be too aggressive of a term, but forcefully sharing your opinion that I think the consensus would agree with you on a lot of things.
I mean, I believe in things, and I'm at the point where I'm
like it too.
I'm not going to apologize, and I'm not going to lie to people, especially when it comes to Rhode Island and what's good for Rhode Island and what's bad.
And plus, you know what? As somebody that ran for governor here in this state, you have a little bit more of a deeper knowledge than just the surface level stuff that I think I would understand with this state GOP. So when you're speaking on it, I feel like, obviously, again, since you were the candidate in 2022, you have more credibility than most people.
I know I know who's in the family and what's going on in the family. Let's put it that way.
Yes, that's the easiest way to put it, though. You know who's in the family, what's going on in the family, and the family issues.
And I love the family, so certain things that are bad for it.
Even though people might think you don't love the family, you do love the family.
No, you're always hardest on the people that you expect the most of. And I think that we need to start winning and doing things to accomplish that
You're not
goal.
winning this year. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news.
I mean,
but
I don't think that's like really news to a lot of
that's
people
fair.
who are living in reality. I mean, people can say whatever they want. It's sort of like a brace and hold year, hide under the table, hide under the bed for the Republicans. To pretend that it's not is not living in reality. So what you need to do is make sure that you don't cause problems, additional problems that you don't need to have.
Right.
Which is what's, we have a little bit of that going on.
Which is probably not the worst thing in the world to speak out about these problems. So you can identify them, you bring everybody in, and then we collectively find a solution. That's how it gets done, right?
Yeah. I talk privately about some things before I publicly say what I need to say.
Right, but you have your feelings. You feel the way you do, and this is a very opinionated community. So you're going to get a lot of different ideas from different places.
I have a designer who works here with me, and she's like, Rhode Islanders know everything.
They really do.
She's not used to. She's
We're
like,
in everybody's
they're
business.
know-it-alls.
I say we. I'm not even from Rhode Island, but I might as well be at this point at 8 years. But,
I don't know what the year span is, but I obviously don't respect that. So I
would say you're a real Rhode Island. But listen, for the money you put into this state to try to get the top job, you're a Rhode Islander.
I'm from South Shore, Massachusetts. The towny vibe sort of it's the same sort of thing.
Where's South Shore?
Cohasset, Situate.
Okay, yeah. I used to play soccer over in Cohasset.
Yeah. Nice, right?
That complex that's on the hill. I forget.
I don't know
Cohasset Soccer Complex. Yeah.
Maybe you're younger than I am. I wasn't very into sports in high school. I was more like smoking and doing bad things. Sorry.
Oh, so you're for pro? You're for what Trump did with?
I was like super into music and like going to like the Rat. Do you remember that in Boston?
No, that was before my time. I probably would have went to Machine.
I don't know. I was sort of into music and not into sports. So.
I got you. No worries. But all right. So I called you a rabble rouser when you first came in. Have you heard these Chippendale comments from the other day? I saw this online yesterday. Apparently, there was some Rhode Island GOP event that was going on, and Representative Mike Chippendale, the minority leader in the House for the GOP, was lamenting the fact that there's a circular firing squad happening on social media, and it's pissing him off, his words, because there's too much criticism going around these days. Let me play it for you, and then I'll get your reaction to this, because I think this is the problem with this state's GOP right now, and this is the mindset that I think this state's GOP doesn't need if they want to start winning.
They're dealing with that right now, and that's what's helping the league put so much division on that side. Let us not fall into those same trappings. We live in one of the most divided times in political history in the United States of America right now. We cannot have a circular firing squad here. If I don't like a Republican candidate, I am not going to go on the internet and bash him for my own benefit, which I'm seeing Republicans do, and it pisses me off. Keep your mouth shut. You don't have to like the person. You don't even have to like their message. But I am imploring you, do not publicly assault that person's integrity, character, message, or anything else.
So that's clearly a shot at you for being as open as you've been with Aaron Guckian, who's running as a Republican for governor, not being the right choice. And maybe that's the right opinion. But why is that wrong to say that out loud? What's your response to that?
Maybe you should help me translate. Like, maybe I didn't realize that was what that was. I mean, because a lot of my criticism has been about another candidate that's unsuitable. But I can talk about that one. I mean, I think that when we talk about how divided we are as a country and as a state, I talk very clearly about a CD2 candidate, Meller, who assaulted or was arrested for assaulting his wife. I don't think it's like a controversial issue to be like, we don't really want that here.
Right.
And like this sort of like fake moving from Florida is not. And like, again, there's family politics. Like everybody knows everything in Rhode Island. So I am aware of what he's doing.
So what do you think about the idea that there's a circular firing squad?
Yeah, it's the people who aren't speaking out against unsuitable candidates and make us look like a lunatic party, because the median voter wants two choices that are real, rational, smart choices. And if we don't provide that, then we're not going to win. I'm about winning, and winning means that you're not going to accept clowns and pretend that they're not as a party.
Right.
Why would I do that? I'm not in fantasy land. I don't think like the reality is I see what the median voter sees, and I'm not going to pretend that's okay or think that person's going to vote for that.
So let me just step back for a second. Vic Meller, because I'm not as educated on the situation as you are.
Oh my God, that one's a real good. I mean, like they literally could not come up with something more offensive to me, I think, as a candidate.
So
but-
Vic Meller is accused of domestic violence?
Well, I don't know. So basically, in one incident, I guess he ran his wife off the road and then tried to run over with a car. So
Mhm.
that's
And this is public information.
this is Kathy Gray getting police reports.
Got it.
And then in another incident, he like punched the woman in her face, but with an open hand, so it might not be a punch. It's like a backhand.
It's an open slap almost.
Yeah, like it matters.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a mitigating thing.
Sure.
And then there are various other things that make him really unappealing to the electorate, which would turn out Democratic votes, right? He would excite the wrong base in an election that's hard in a district that is good for us. So he's a J6er. Democratic voters find that very offensive.
Mhm.
He also I get the irony for me calling him a carpetbagger. Believe me, if I'm calling him a carpetbagger, right? But he is not living in the district. He rented a furnished home. His family isn't living here. And so it really does not look like a genuine attempt to be part of Rhode Island. And he's running to be in Congress, so it's like he's not even going to stay here. He's going to go to Washington.
Right.
It's just like a whole weird, just a weird candidacy that if we were not like immunocompromised as a party, we'd be able to fight off. But we're almost like we can't fight off viruses in our own party.
So is the selection process in identifying candidates just completely flawed from the state party perspective? Because, like you're very
Thank
open.
you.
Called,
Right,
but you called yourself a carpetbagger, right?
That's what I was called. I take offense to it, but I understand why people believed that was the case.
Right.
And I wasn't good at fighting back about it.
So when you look at the list of candidates that this party continues to throw up there, do you think that the wrong people are leading this thing?
Well, I think
which has led us to a place where the GOP looks like they're never going to win a race.
I think there's a misunderstanding about how the whole thing works. And part of being silent about it and not saying like, yo, this isn't our person, that causes a problem because people believe, oh, the GOP is throwing up the candidate. That is not the case in many of these instances. That's not what happened internally within the party, is that what ends up happening is people sometimes select themselves and they're not recruited to run. They recruit themselves when we're already having a hard recruitment year. And sometimes, and we can't control who runs. Nobody asked Vic Meller to run or Aaron Gukian. They just nominated themselves, and they're allowed to do that in the process. So that was not a choice of the party. But the party shouldn't take the blame for craziness either. Right?
But they allow it.
By not saying anything, I would argue.
Right. So that's part of the problem. But that goes to the, by allowing the craziness, that allows people like you to speak up, and Mike Chippendale doesn't like when you speak up.
I don't know.
Maybe, and he's not. He didn't single you out specifically in that clip, but he's talking about things that he's seeing on social media.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he knows what. I mean, if he had a real problem, he would call me.
Does he feel like he can call you?
You mean, is he afraid of me?
I mean, is it easier to go out there and just make public statements?
I mean, is it easier at a GOP breakfast to say that? Yeah, of course, because that's the other thing. Like, that's kind of a common. I know this is like to make drama out of it, but it's kind of like a normal thing that Republicans say at a breakfast. So I really didn't think it was like that directed at me. This year, I think it's important. Generally, I think he's right about not saying bad things about Republicans. But this year, we have like really sort of a few offensive candidates. We also have some candidates that are not offensive that I haven't really spoken out about. I don't really love them, but I have nothing to say that's like, I don't feel the need to say anything. But like, it is like knowing the party, and maybe you can come to those events more.
I don't think I'd be welcomed.
I don't know. Well, you just observe them. It's not like, it's kind of like standard fare, like don't be mean, don't talk the Reagan's 11th. The 11th Amendment or whatever did not contemplate the weirdos we have nowadays. People self-selected back in that generation. Now with politics, there's nothing that's so disqualifying that a person says like, maybe not. That's and so that changes how it works, I think.
I got you.
And I want normal people in the party, and normal people see weirdos or whatever,
and they just turn away from it.
Yeah, and they assume in silence that we're okay with it.
So who are the weirdos?
Oh, thanks.
I'm going to go there.
Oh, man.
Who are the weirdos? Well, I think it's a part of identifying the problem. If this GOP wants to win in this state,
well, listen,
who are the weirdos that are preventing
the
independents from coming in?
Okay, nobody is preventing. And
so you're talking about like people see what's going on with this state's GOP and some of the outlandish characters.
Well, you tell me who you think is outlandish then.
Patricia Morgan.
I liked Patricia Morgan, but I don't know.
Nicole Solis.
They are, so every party has their right and their left, and I'm kind of like, I come from a tradition, which was like actually a progressive tradition where you have your like extreme activists, and I know the ones on the left
Anthony Delane is another one. Just he's a wannabe, Eric Daughtry or Charlie Kirk or, just going along with.
I love the kids, the cutie patooties. So I try.
He tries so hard to be something that already exists out there.
Well, maybe in Rhode Island he's singular. I don't have, that I actually don't. I don't think they like me right now because I'm on the, not on the Mellor train, and I think it's horrible, and I think it'll damage the party in the long run. So I am, and that's the train that they're on, and they get on the train and they don't listen and they get mad. Not everybody, but there is like. I am relatively moderate, I guess I would say. So I'm respectful of people who are far more conservative than I am just because I don't get it.
Right.
And so like I just try to understand without judging. But they're not particularly, I don't think they're particularly harmful. Maybe you say they are. But
I wouldn't say harmful, but enough to turn the independents away. Let's hold it here. We'll talk a little bit more about it in the 11 o'clock hour. We have a lot to get to with McKee's appearance today on PRO, too, because I know you have a lot to say about that. Ashley Kalus in studio with me, hanging out this afternoon, or this morning, I guess. It's afternoon to me. I've been up since 2 a.m. Hanging out this morning with us, 438-9776. Back with more after this. Hour number 3 of the Tara Granahan Show here. Ashley Kalus hanging out on a Friday with you. Tom Quinlan for Tara Granahan, 438-9776, 1-800-321-WPRO. Anything left on this Chippendale stuff, going after people for being involved in a circular firing squad and just being too critical on social media?
I got nothing. I think I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, you're not going to change who you are on social media, right?
I am beyond reproach or not able to be. I don't know. Yeah, no, there's nothing that's going to change me. I mean, I'm pretty set.
All right. Well, we'll leave that there. Then if anybody has any comments with what Representative Mike Chippendale said about circular firing squads and being too critical of the party, call in 438-9776. Hey, listen, he said it. You're a public figure and the comments are out there, so it's fair game, right? Let's go over the governor today on Ask the Governor with Gene. And the first thing that stuck out to you is that he's skipping meeting the king to go listen to a bunch of people complain about sludge in North Kingstown. Do you even understand the sludge issue first? I don't want to get into it because I don't understand it. But apparently, long story short, they want to build this sludge facility that's not supposed to be good for the area.
Poop factory, right?
It's like a poop factory, yeah.
That's my
turns into cake. He said it's something to do with cake. I don't know. I don't understand it. But anyways, he's missing his chance to meet the king because he's going to go down in North Kingstown and speak out against this sludge facility they want to build. You want to play McKee 01 real quick for us? This was the governor, Dan McKee, on with Gene Valicenti earlier this morning for Ask the Governor, which is available wherever you get podcasts.
Speaking of the British, the king's coming next week.
The king is coming,
and you just told me that you were invited to get down to Washington to the tea party or the garden party. Are you going to go?
I'm not going to be able to go, but I got late notice yesterday that I could have got invited to meet with the king and the queen. Not that I don't want to, but I have some business to take care of in North Kingstown on Monday night, so I got to be there.
You can push it off. Come on.
So hold on, and let me understand this. You are declining an invitation to meet the king because you have to deal with the sludge issue in North Kingstown.
Yeah, I got
Is that the headline here?
Yeah, I got to make it very clear that I'm not supporting that facility, and I'm going to go down and speak in public with the town council and the town manager down there.
And so my headline, if I'm writing this, would be Sludge Trumps King.
Well, they could. Or you
I hate
could
to use the word Trump in a headline regarding you, but Sludge Trumps King.
Take Trump out. I can't have him in the
I
headline.
know.
So, but you might change sludge to cake because that's what they're calling the material, cake.
well-
So it could be interesting, tea
Yes.
and cake.
So tea and cake. Yeah, you tried to tie it in. I'm assuming you would meet the king.
Yeah, I'm a normal person. I think I could convey that to the town council via a phone call, and they would understand where it's like, hey, I'm gonna go meet the king.
So
of
in your
England.
eyes, it's a convenient excuse that the governor is not going to meet with the king.
I mean, I don't know what he's thinking. I mean, I'm sure it's like when he was like, even take Trump out of it's like fear. Like, take Trump out of that sentence. I think that's what it is. But I also don't think you win people by being weird. Like, that's such a weird thing to do, to not go meet. Like, who would not meet the king to go to a town council meeting? Like, nobody wants to go to those anyway.
But to your point, is it because Trump's name's attached to it, and he's got to run against Helena, and he's banging on Helena for being so tied donation wise wherever she was, whether it be Home Depot, all these different companies in the past. Does he view it maybe as hypocritical to go out and go to an event that has Trump there, even though it's the king of England? Royal monarchies really don't exist anymore, because it might make him look hypocritical because he's going after Helena for being associated with companies that donated to the Trump campaign.
It's like a lot of words and thinking. I would just be like, you know what? Like, if my team came to me and was like, you can't go because of all of that, I would be like, I think I'll just take the hit for 3 days so I can go get a picture with the king.
You wouldn't. You don't think it would come back and blow back on you so hard?
I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think. I think if you act like a normal a person, that's the problem with all these politicians. They do really weird things. They don't act like normal people. Like, a normal person can understand. Like, listen, I got an invite to see the king. I'm gonna go.
Which is a little wild that he got invited, isn't it? You're sitting Democratic governor in Rhode Island.
I mean, I think they probably invited them all. Like, he just found out, like, maybe because there's like a whole protocol with that. Because I worked for a governor and I worked with the consulate corps, and the consulate corps is like super good about like, we must invite this person and they need to sit there. So I think he probably just like, I don't think it was like a real invite. Probably it was more like all the governors get invited.
So in your eyes, it's not normal that he decided to say, yeah, I don't need to meet the king.
No, that's not normal. And
Factory.
if he needed cover, be like a normal person. Call Maura and be like, "Yo, Maura."
So what would the
Come
advice
with
you
me.
would be to give to him to say, hey, you need to go do this?
I mean, I don't know if he needs to go. I mean, if he's not interested in the king, I know he doesn't need to do it. It's
That's
just
fair.
sort of a weird. Like, I would take that opportunity. It's cool. It's just like, whatever you think of the king, he's the king of England.
Okay.
I want that picture.
I want that picture too for the clout. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
The
it's
clout that I would get on social media.
My friend, the king.
My friend, the king. One of the last monarchs, because after William, I don't know what's going to happen after that. New poll numbers for the governor. Don't see it going very favorably for him right now. I think he's down 34 points in this new poll that just came out. Headline from the Providence Journal. New poll gives Helena Folks huge lead over McKee in governor's primary race. Helena has a whopping 34-point lead over the Governor Dan McKee in the race for the Democratic nomination for governor, according to the new University of New Hampshire Survey Center poll released Thursday, April 23rd. McKee has dismissed previous UNH polls showing Folks in front, but by a much smaller margin than this new poll, which sampled 559 likely general election voters and 327 likely Democratic primary voters from April 16th to the 20th. Before we get your answer, Nick, you want to pull up McKee 3, him reacting to the new polling?
And this new University in New Hampshire poll is not very good for you. She got you by 34%. She's crushing you in this particular poll. Now, you just can't say, Gene, I'm not going to pay attention to polls. These are 2 polls in a row. I won't give Ken Block's poll was a push poll. I won't bring that up. But you had the poll out the other day, and now you have the UNH poll, which is a legitimate poll, I guess, University of New Hampshire. And she's crushing you in that. Go ahead, Governor.
Well, We'll see what happens in the election. I'll win this primary 5 to 7 points. Put that down. So if UNH wants to bet the house on their figures, I think they'll lose a lot of money. We've already stated the fact that they're not a legitimate. They're an outlier, and they're going to continue to be. So we'll live with that. But when we start comparing my record with my opponent, my Democratic opponent records, it's going to be very clear that I'm working on behalf of the people. She is a CEO that is unapologetic for her record. Just look at what happened recently with Omnicare.
I'm going to let you get into that.
So, yeah, and Gene let him talk about Omnicare a little bit later in that interview. But what would your advice be to him on the polling?
Isn't it adorable how Trumpy he is in some moments?
Either
fake news. All the polls are
That's
fake
true.
news, and you're gonna see I'm gonna win. Okay.
He has lashed out on the media in the past. We have seen that. He's called out Brian Crandall at press conferences. So
he's sort of an adorable old man sometimes.
Is he living in reality with these poll numbers?
Is he living in reality? I think is a broader question. It's a hard reality to live in for him,
right.
But he's not doing what he needs to do in order to win. And he needs to be when he's talked about Omnicare, or falling asleep, the Omnicare. He really needs to be better at communicating to Democrat primary voters why Helena is the same way when I talk about some folks in my party. Helena is also a moral injury to that party. And he needs to have that conversation in a compelling way. And he's like, you just wait until I get out there. How far behind are you going to need to be until you start fighting? Once he's at 50 points behind, he's going to go after her. The time is now to talk about what Helena is. I do not like the governor. And I can say, and he can call me if he really cares. He's done some pretty bad things to me, not even with in the election, whatever, it's dirty, who cares? But I would say, on the grievance list of people who have reasons to dislike him, I get to be pretty high up on that list.
Can you just name one underhanded thing that he did to you that you'd feel comfortable talking about?
Send DLT to audit me. I mean, using the power, lying about my contract, just things that we don't need to talk about here because it's I'm not into grievance stuff, but I have legit real business and personal reasons because nothing ever happened. But every time you get investigated, this is a great thing about harassing people. It costs me $20,000 in legal fees, even when I get a no finding or whatever. So I don't care. I'm just saying that I have the right to hate the guy more than anybody else. And I think that Helena is so damaging to the future of Rhode Island and the future of that party that I would say McKee is the ethical choice. That pains me to say that. So I see these other elected officials who have these little beefs with McKee and then are on Helena's side because of that. And I'm like, you really get yourself together.
So the Policenas, for example.
This is very difficult. You just call out the people and make me answer. Yeah, I would say he has a beef. Yeah. I would say my beef would be bigger. I mean, he did something that wasn't cool to him. But at the same time, Helena, he also doesn't say Helena's running on competency, and she's not competent. She's never done anything that demonstrates competency. She's caused disaster after disaster after disaster. Mm-hmm. Gene helped him. He was like, what about Hudson Bay? Do that disaster, Governor. And he just really, maybe he's uncomfortable fighting in that way, but people need to hear it very clearly because Helena's a corporate snake. She's every HR woman who has fired you. If you imagine on Zoom, hey, it's a wonderful day, you're fired. That's what she is. And so she is going to be very smooth and say she's this, she's that, and blame McKee. And if he doesn't fight back with the truth about what she is and what she'll be for the state, he's going to lose and in a way that is not honorable.
So in your eyes, he's not doing enough of that right now.
I don't think he's doing any of it. What do I remember about Omnicare? Nothing. What he should have said is what that was is she was was head of pharmacy at CVS. I want to make sure I get the titles right. Yeah. Whatever. She was in charge there. And Omnicare basically is in trouble with the DOJ for billing Medicaid for drugs inappropriately. So there we go with the drug, the inappropriate drug dealing. I think it was beta blockers, hard medicine. So it wasn't like the good stuff, not the good stuff, the opioid stuff, but
Right.
it was a different kind of drug problem. The issue with her at CVS is she came from retail and she's used to selling things.
Right.
And taking somebody who's used to selling candy and then putting them on drugs might be like a weird decision because you might get what you're asking for, which is a lot more drugs sold.
So if he called you, okay, let's play the hypothetical game. Ashley, what's the advice I need to do to turn these poll numbers around and cut the deficit and make this a tighter primary race? Because it's not just going to be the endorsements that I'm going to get from the mayors and maybe some union leaders. I need to go deeper. How do you go deeper?
I think what he needs to do is for all the moms, and this is truthful, this just isn't politics. Every time they hear Helena's name, they need to have the first thing that comes into their mind is drug dealer. Helena Folks, drug dealer. You need to make that association stick. And define her before she defines herself as something that is not true. She is not a competent leader who's going to come smiling in, this corporate woman, and save us. She's going to cut programs. She's going to cut workers, just like she did with Hudson Bay. She basically took, that company's a 200-year-old company. Her leadership, that was her second chance at corporate leadership. And what ended up happening is the company went bankrupt, and the private equity, they always get everything, and the workers got nothing. Like, what is her record of success? Because that's what she's running on, is I'm a competent leader that will save you from the McKee incompetency.
438-9776, 1-800-321-WPRO. Jake in Boston. What's up, buddy? How are you?
What's going on, Tommy?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. So you forget that the Royals are coming to the area again at the end of June when the head of the FA, Prince William, and the Brits play Ghana in the World Cup at Gillette Stadium.
Oh.
So Dan McKee, he will get another chance. Now, I want to know, what is Danny Boy doing about those bus prices to get from Providence to Foxborough? Is he trying to compete with Maura Healey and Mikey Sherrill, maybe go $400 to get on that bus round trip, win the contest of which mayor can be the most, or which governor can be the most out of touch?
$90 to take a bus up to Route 1. Oh,
yeah, and how much
painful.
of that taxpayer money for that game? How much taxpayer money for that game will be spent sending the friends and family of Congressman Gabe Amo to that game via police escort? Obviously, his family is from Ghana. Never played soccer, by the way. High school football, never soccer. No one will also put that dude on camera and ask him about Mike Vrabel today, even though I would like to know. And no one on his staff will tell him that khakis are out. I mean, holy moly, that guy needs a personal stylist.
You should take over for him.
I probably should.
You
Tommy,
ever see Jake in Boston's jackets? They're great. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
You know who also be good to talk about Mike Vrabel, Tommy?
Who?
Go get Rosie Woods, who's spent the last 4 weeks on Real Housewives denying an affair with Ed Cooley. She's denied an affair with everyone in the state over the last 3 weeks of this show.
She has denied a lot of different affairs, whether it be somebody at NBC 10 or whether it be with former college basketball coaches. Thank you, Jake in Boston. Good call. Yeah, I guess the Prince, future king, might be here for the World Cup.
I didn't know you get two shots. You better take the second shot.
You better take the second. Yeah, you better take the second shot.
Then he just has something against the King of England or
at that
the
point,
Prince.
right?
Yeah,
maybe he's the one organizing these No Kings rallies. All right, more to get to from today's Ask the Governor, and you're not skating on your political future today, so we'll get to that at some point. More questions for Ashley. If you have them, 438-9776. Text it on in as well. Back with more after this. All right. Quinlan in for Granahan today. I'm in for a couple days next week, too. Ashley Kalus is in studio today on this fun Friday. 527 says Ashley's a fun guest. There you go.
Thank you.
Norman Cranston, real quick. You got 60 seconds. What's up, bud?
Hey, Tom, thanks for taking my call. Shout out to Nick Flanagan. I tried to go with Valicenti this morning, and I just want to say that did they talk about the bridge? Because I'm tired of sitting on Jefferson Boulevard for 30 minutes trying to get across the bridge. But I do really feel worse for the doctors and nurses that have to come from the East Bay across that bridge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks for the call, Norm. I'm just up against the break, so I got to drop you there. But we did not talk about the bridge it's kind of like a forgotten thing at this point. I mean, that's what Helene is going to use against him.
I think it's too late. I think that having the leadership change, should be helpful to McKee, and McKee should just say sorry every time. Like, listen, and be honest. You know what? When there was that last
should
committee,
McKee be sorry for Gina?
No, but I think that you can. You know what's so funny is that they both, like, Helena was like, oh, I inherited the drug crisis just like Dan inherited the bridge. And I was like, well, that means you can't be mean to him anymore. Like, that's like, when you say that,
that's
like,
her way of rationalizing.
I know, I was like, but if that's your excuse, like, then you can't bang him on the bridge. Like, you have to be fair, right? It's just such a weird thing. But I think that the last Senate whatever hearing, I think I finally understood what happened there. And it was in a really honest way, which is that we, in state government, sort of the Thatcher way of outsourcing expertise, what is not helpful, and we need departments that are full of professionals, and we got rid of too many of them and depended on consultants. The governor should have just said that in the beginning rather than being defiant and suing everybody. Because Rhode Islanders can we're not stupid people. We can understand mistakes and okay, we need to restructure things.
You're killing this radio thing. You're doing great. It's 11:30. I'm a minute late to Bill. I'm sorry about that, Bill. Hey, listen. We're baptizing a new one here, okay? We're going to make her one of us.
Give the benediction right about now.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
You're fine.
We're almost done.
I told you, it's flying by, doesn't it? 11:30. Again, we got to talk about your political future. You're not going to off the hook that easy. And Ken Block, maybe that's stopping your political future. I don't know. We'll take a break. Back with more after this. Oh, yeah. Final half hour. Well, less than that now. 23 minutes to go until the top of the hour. Matt Allen show coming up after this. Quinlan in for Granahan today. Back with you a couple days next week. Ashley Kalus in studio. We're having a blast today. Let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah.
It's not happening, is it?
What's not happening?
You running for any office. You're not going to surprise us?
You're pushing me out?
Well, I mean, so the Block thing.
Dog catcher? Or what are you looking for? Any office? I don't know.
We do need an Ask the Dog Catcher segment in the mornings. We're crowdsourcing for ideas on segments right now. But Ken Block getting into this race, okay?
Yeah.
And the polling that he released, which is his own polling, and he got 800 people, so that's a good sample size of likely voters. It seems like in a crazy way, especially in a three-way race, there could be a path for Ken to win the election.
I think so, yes.
So because of that, does that make it harder for you when it comes to deciding your political future?
I don't think of this one race as my political future.
Yeah. At least for 2020, we're in 2026.
I don't think it would be good for this state to have either of the options that have been presented on the Democratic side.
Right.
And I've been begging them, which is totally inappropriate. Please give us a better candidate. But for real. And they've been unable to produce that. So I think that putting myself there in a way that might, I don't know, it doesn't matter who's first, right? Ken's in it now. It is what it is. I want to maximize the chance or minimize the chance that either of those two people end up as governor.
So
McKee or Helena. But I would prefer McKee to come out of the primary.
Right.
Not just for the reasons that it's easier for Block to win, according to his poll, but also I feel like the Democratic Party can redeem their I'm not super religious, but redeem themselves and show that they, just like I say we fight viruses in or try to in our party, Helena's the same thing for them. And for them to have somebody that betrays what they believe in, if they can fight that off, I think that would be good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But then why would I insert myself in? I don't want to lose again.
Right. Oh, it's just a lot of money to lose.
I didn't say I was spending $5 million again. Hold on. I know. Talk about weird uses of money, right?
Hey, smoke them if you got them.
Listen, I put my money where my mouth is. Let that be a warning to anybody. Is that it is true. Listen, not very many people really are politically willing to, not just with myself either. If I really believe in somebody or something, I'll do whatever it takes to make it happen. And sometimes it's not successful, but I don't think I add to the race much anymore.
Yeah.
Other than making it why would I imagine how I would feel on election day if the combination of my votes plus Ken's votes were more than what Helena had. I would feel like such a piece of, you know what?
Right.
Because that would have not, like, that's not
You
the
could have-
ideal scenario.
Right. So, okay. So then it brings up this question of, can Ken Block win? Because I didn't get here till 2018. So I'm still a little baby Rhode Islander. But back in 2014, when Ken was running against Alan Fung for the GOP nomination in the governor's race back then, likability was a problem that I keep on hearing about with Ken Block. He's got to be the smartest guy in the room. He acts like he's better than everybody else. Even with Tara recently, Nick, if you want to pull that clip up, where Tara asked him straight up, like, hey, you know, this likability thing with you, it's not like it's a surprise. Do you look at that as a hindrance in your chance to win? Here's what Ken Block had to say.
Somebody, you know, of course, we're all crossing over here every once in a while in the hallways, and someone said to me, well, what do you think about, is he likable enough? And what about the likability factor? And I said, you know, in my mind, and not just you in particular or anyone, I don't need to like a person. I need someone to get the job done and make it a little easier to live here, right? A little bit more affordable. But that comes up from time to time. And I actually retorted with, well, is Donald Trump likable? Not necessarily.
Also true.
But if you can get the job done, and I'm not trying to lump you in there at all, but my point is, do you have to be likable? Do you hear that ever? What is it that why does that resonate every once in a while?
So I don't really hear it all that much. I'm not really kind of soliciting that kind of feedback. Look, for people who want to bring change, that change can be unsettling to a lot of people, and they'll grab a hold of anything they can to try to keep the status quo. It's a natural human reaction to things, but here in this particular moment in time, the change that we have to make is almost desperate in nature, right? We can't keep doing things.
There. Thank you, Nick. So it's almost like he's saying, like, yeah, I know what people say about me when it comes to likability. But but likability doesn't matter for what this state needs.
That's true, but it's also a little bit unfair to him. Like, he's kind of like nerdy and awkward, and I think that sometimes that gets mistaken. I hope he's not going to get mad if I share, because I really do try to not share all of my private
share whatever you feel comfortable with. Yeah.
But when I was running, people weren't like super nice to me at the beginning, as you can imagine.
Right.
And Ken was really nice to me. Like, he invited me over to his house for breakfast, and he made me eggs. It was just like such a nice and a bagel.
What were the eggs made of? Scrambled, over easy?
I asked for scrambled. He made them for me.
There you go.
I wanted my
made
eggs.
to order, chef. There you go. That's good.
He was a really nice guy about it, and he offered advice that was sincere, and it wasn't discouraging, but it also wasn't like. It was just very Ken Block. It was very to the point. And so I think that this likability thing is something that people used against him because he's so fact-based, and he's just not fun. I get forced into the position of not being fun. I'm very bitter about that right now. I've been called bitter on Twitter. I was like, I'm not a bitter person, but I am bitter about not being by having to be sort of like this serious adult sometimes with the party. And Ken is really an adult about this, and he really cares, and so he doesn't goof around very much.
No, but would it behoove him to show that side more? Show this, and this is me, and I don't know anything. Okay, I do this as somewhat as a novice, getting to the slowly crawling to an expert level political analyst here in this area, at least.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it behoove him to show that a more fun, likable side that doesn't just show, okay, I'm all about numbers, I'm all about showing you how smart I am? Isn't that just in touchness with the average guy, average guy and girl? Wouldn't it help him to do?
But Ken's not fun.
But that's the problem.
No,
that's the problem, though, isn't it?
No.
You need a little fun.
No,
you need a little fun. Life is too short not to have a little fun.
You can work on people, But that is not what we need right now. We don't need fun going into the governor's office because if you need fun, you can come talk to me about it and I'll make jokes about things in sort of a dark humor sort of way. But we need competence there right now. And we're about to go into some really not fun places where you need somebody that you can rely on to tell you the truth and also make good decisions. And I guess my thing is that
so maybe not fun, but at least soften the blow. Show a lighter side to you where I don't feel like I'm being talked down to when I'm listening to you.
Yeah, I think that. I never do.
Personality
but I have such a big ego that I never experience. You're talking down to me. Who's this weirdo? I don't experience that. You know what I worry about with Ken, and I think that is that people who are, let's say, more liberal worry that he's going to be like the opposite of like a compassionate conservative or whatever, and he is not going to.
I don't think he's a hardline Republican.
Well, I don't mean that. I think that because he comes across in that manner, they don't know if he'll protect Medicaid or protect people. And that lack of showing care for that, I think, is sometimes the problem for him. Because I actually genuinely do believe that he will. I don't believe he's as like anti-union. I'm pro-union. I've always been. I know it's in my party. It seems weird. I don't believe it's weird.
It's an inevitable fact of this state. You have to work with the unions.
Well, that's not. I mean, they didn't work with me. They betrayed me. I'm a true
with
believer.
You, but if Ken was to win, he has to realize the unions aren't going anywhere.
Well, I don't think that Ken is out to hurt the unions, and I think that it would help him to say. I don't think there's a need to right now.
Right.
Really, I mean, that is not going to solve the problem. But I think if he can convince some people that are afraid that he's going to be like one of these like accountants that like comes in and like cuts everything apart, I think it would be helpful, because I think a lot of people, that's the fear, is when you get somebody who is competent, like dangerously competent, like, oh, he's going to come in and, make good decisions, but hard decisions in terms of like human services and stuff like that. I just don't think that he is going to accept the trade-off. And I do believe he's smart enough to help us not make some of those trade-offs.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard for me to vouch for other people. Like I've told you, we've talked, I worked for a governor and I did a whole bunch of vouching for people or for that governor. And then I got a whole bunch of phone calls afterwards. So I'm sort of uncomfortable, because you never know what somebody's going to be like once they actually
that makes sense.
Have power. But I think that Ken will be a little bit softer, more like the guy that makes me eggs, which is such a weird story to tell.
No, but okay. How many people do you think know that about Ken? That he would invite you over to his house, make you breakfast.
And he made me feel better when I was like not really having a good day. And he was just really nice about it. And because he was smart, he made me like having a dumb person tell you everything's going to be okay. It isn't really that like.
That doesn't always help.
It doesn't help. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm screwed.
Sure.
Having a smart, thoughtful person talk to you in a respectful way when you're having a really bad day, which is what it was really helpful. And Ken is that. I wish he didn't come off that way, and I don't experience him that way. I think that the Fung campaign, like that is something they were really effective in terms of making that narrative about him.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he gets off of it, because he's a little bit nerdy and he is super competent. And I think he'll do a good job. But I also think that he needs to convince people that there is going to be kindness behind him, which I do believe exists, in a time where we're going to go through a budget crisis.
Well, the other thing, too, is that he can't come off thin-skinned, because the article with McGowan yesterday in the Boston Globe, where Dan was interviewing Ken, saying that he's not going to do any debate that Gene Valicenti is moderating. Come on.
I know. Why?
Why take that approach?
Why is he mad?
He's mad because Gene had on Alviti during Ask the DOT, and he felt, in his eyes, Gene didn't hold Alviti accountable enough to the problems of the Washington Bridge. That's Ken's view of how that segment went.
Well, see, if anybody calls him acting like a Republican, that's the most like Democrat way to behave. You're platforming this person.
Right.
like, come on. I mean, okay, I think he should get over it.
And so your advice to him, get over it, do the debate with Valicenti.
Yeah, of course. That's the right thing to do, because you need to forget about Valicenti. You need to make your case to the people of Rhode Island, and to whoever is watching or listening to that debate. What are they going to see? You not there? I mean, that's also a symbol, right? So
right.
You're just not going to show up when you don't like somebody.
Right.
That's not the right way to act. And I don't think I can't speak for Ken. I don't know what he's going to do, but
yeah,
I would
but if you have to
encourage
give him advice on this stuff, you know what I mean? Same thing, consulting, right? You're looking at this, you're an analyst, you've been through this hellish cycle as it is once already. You don't turn down camera time, especially when yeah, exactly. And the same should be said for him, where, I wouldn't say every household is going to be watching that NBC 10 debate or every WPRI debate, but a good chunk of them will.
Yeah, and it's a good debate. I did it, and like the lighting is beautiful. it's worthwhile. Like, it's very nice production.
Right.
Best, really.
It's a really big time production.
It feels like it's a really big thing. I hate when it's hard when you back yourself into a corner, right? So like maybe Gene could help him get out of that corner.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
guess
know if that's going to happen now.
I know. Well, this is a
But this is where I say Ken's got to show a more fun, playable side. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean you can't be playful. So I don't know. I just think
yeah, I mean, it's the best way to be. It's the best way is if you don't like somebody, if you can make fun of them. I think it's the best way to deal with it. And it's also more relatable. People can understand humor, and you don't have a bad nature. I don't agree with that. I really hope he changes his mind because it's really not about whatever the DOT thing is. It's about who people want to have as governor.
We'll bang through some of these calls before we get you out of here for today. Block is a nice little wimp is what 257 says. 573, give me a nerd that nobody likes that gets stuff done over a likable person who only cares about keeping things the way they are. Tom talking down to people is what Democrats do. Making eggs for friends, that should be a campaign commercial. Can't believe they didn't think of it. That's pretty good.
Did I emasculate? I hope I didn't say something that was not good for
no,
Ken.
I think no. They're saying the whole making eggs thing should be a commercial for him.
He's a nice guy. You just don't see that side of him because he talks numbers all the time.
All right, Ed in Smithfield, real quick. You're going to be the only call I'm able to take here. What's up, bud?
Hey, Tom. Hey, Ashley. You're a union person. I was in a union, and I agree. I'm just saying, in turn of the century, 1900, you needed unions. People would be in the factories doing the wool, get their hands cut. We got someone else, so they had to form a union. The unions today are tweaking words that are so crazy, and they run the Laborers International. They run the governors, and they tell them what that's good. They want the votes and all the people especially in this state. The unions with words, tweaking words, like for example, response time with a fire to a fire station, 8 to 12 instead of.
I don't mean to rush your Ed. Just tie it up in a bow for me. How does it tie into Ken Block?
Ken Block, I think he'll tweak things down to common sense. Even though he's a little nerdy, I think it's he's the man for the job. That's what I think.
All right. Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.
We're done?
No, I mean, we're pretty much done, yeah. I'd say take one more break after this. It's like 5 minutes long.
That was fast.
That was fast. But listen, likability, it's a thing that Ken's going to have to work on between now and November.
Is it really that bad?
I don't know if it's that bad. I'd be lying to you. I know that the public jabs that he was trying to take on Twitter, I think he thought would be more beneficial to him than it actually is. I just think my personal advice, Thomas James Quinlan IV speaking, personally.
That's so awesome.
I'm bougie too, trust me. I'm so bougie.
I'm the fourth.
I try to hide it. I really am not. Just ease up.
I'm sorry.
TQ4. Will there be a TQ5? I hope so. But he's got to pull back a little bit. Just lighten up a little bit. Have more fun. Show the side that you said. That caring, compassionate side that invited you over for that day for eggs. That's the guy that people need to see more of. Let's wrap up the show with Ashley after this. All right, we got to run. Matt Allen's show's coming up next. Ashley Kalus, happy Friday again. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to do this again, all right?
All right.
You want to do it again?
I would love to do it again.
Yes.
This is fun.
Yes. Text in so I can read the text messages after. I want the reviews on Ashley, okay? Send them in, Seagulls, 438-9776. I want to read Ashley's reviews, and I'm going to screenshot them and send them to her. Matt Allen's show's coming up next. You got all good reviews anyways. Everybody liked you today.
You can send me some of the mean ones.
I'll send you the mean ones. There was one that said they were turning off the radio and they're never listening to WPRO again. I get those like 9 times a day, though, so I don't know how real they are. Nick, thank you very much. Have a great weekend, buddy.
Thank you.
Bill, have a great weekend. He's got your top of the hour headlines. I will see you Monday at 6 a.m. with Valicenti. Bye.